So a few weeks ago, FlashForge reached out to me and asked if I wanted to take a look at their Adventurer 5N Pro. It's a Core XY 3D printer, fully enclosed. I said yes, of course, but I made it clear to them, like, I'm not a 3D printing expert. I'm just the most normal type guy. I just happen to be really good looking and insanely wealthy, but I'm just a regular guy. I'm not a 3D print nerd. I'm not a wizard at these things. But being in that space, there's a lot of people in that space. And so I'm gonna offer my thoughts on the 85M Pro from FlashForge from the perspective of someone who's not like super ultra deep into 3D printers, but I have some experience operating all the other printers in my farm, what unique characteristics this printer has, whether or not it may be right for you. These are just my unfiltered thoughts on the device and a few things that FlashForge wanted to make sure I said. And once again, if you're not already subscribed to the channel. So when they reached out and asked me if I wanted to take a look at this printer, I of course said yes, because I'm a say yes kind of guy, but I usually print big stuff, but that's not to say I don't print small things or, you know, prototypes of prints. So this printer, the 85M Pro, all self-contained, and I'm really liking that because it's the first printer I got that was all fully self-contained, because I've never really printed with exotic materials that sort of require a hardcore enclosure. The 85M Pro does have that. It's a 220 build cube, 220, 220, 220 high, so a little bit smaller than sort of a comparable product, barely than say like a P1P or something like that, and certainly smaller than a lot of the other printers I run. But in terms of like convenience, this has become sort of my go-to printer for rapid prototyping. And what I mean by that is I literally keep this printer underneath my desk. I was mentioning in a vlog recently, I kind of felt bad about it, like they went to the trouble of sending me this nice printer and I'm here stuffing it underneath my desk. But that's because I like it so much and I use it so much, and it's all small, self-contained, so I don't have to worry about things, you know, getting shot into here or falling through the top if I'm eating a Nutri-Grain bar and it falls on the top. It's all self-contained. Further to that, it's not very loud, especially it being all enclosed, so it's not too offending. It's not running right now, but it's certainly a lot quieter than all the other printers that I have. Now, FlashForge wanted me to make sure I mentioned some things, and a lot of people kind of get real worried about transparency with sponsorships and stuff like that. They didn't give me any money for this. They gave me the printer, and then they said I could say what I wanted to, but they wanted to make sure I mentioned a few things just about the printer. What they really were concerned about me mentioning and highlighting is that they are kind of primed up for selling these in multi-units, like for farm scenarios. So if you're building out a 3D print farm, or you need a bunch of them to scale up your current farm or something like that, they have volume pricing on these units. And so they'll sell you a whole bunch at a bigger discount, more so than maybe another company would. That seems to be their aim, their pitch. It's also a fast machine, 600 millimeters per second, 10,000 millimeters per second acceleration. So it's quick. Additionally, internal and external filtration is probably one of the coolest features I haven't really dove into too much yet, but as soon as I get into some more of those exotic materials, I'll certainly be taking a look at that, because the interior and exterior filtration, it's always kind of bugged me running some of those more exotic materials about the toxins and sort of the bad stuff that could be off-gassed by printing with those things, or even just offending smells. The filtration system in this kind of eliminates that worry. And so this printer is $499 per unit, so it's kind of in line and comparable with a lot of other machines. It seems like it was built to be a little more robust. It is Core XY, so it moves up and down, so there's, you know, not too much in the way of vibration and stability issues. I've not noticed it, even under speed, it being excessively loud or vibraty or anything like that. Many people have come into the comments, and I've noticed some other creators too, having issues with the Z offset initially when they go to start a print. I've not had a single issue like that. I've certainly mentioned it if I did. There are a couple things though about the printer that are maybe just for me a little wonky. First being loading the filament. So most printers, or most of my other printers, when you go to pull out the filament, you either go through the screen, tell it to unload the filament, and it'll heat up the nozzle and back it out to where you can pull it out. In case of things like the Cobras, I just heat up the nozzle and rip it out. Probably not ideal. So they handle filament re-ups and swap outs a little bit differently. It's not like you heat it up, pull the filament out, and then put the new one in. This one you go in and snip it, and then you purge the remaining that is into the nozzle, and you feed the new in. During a print, if you have to replace the filament or replenish it throughout the course of the print, it does purge it. So your active print could be on the plate, and it's going to be purging down, eliminating that. You're going to have to scoop that out and go. So that is somewhat of a concern. You know, there are ways around that. I'm hopeful they'll, you know, kind of patch that in the future, or kind of come up with some other means to do that, really more so just for the so the purged filament doesn't interact in any way with your existing print if you are replenishing. I know a lot of people will kind of preemptively do that, or put in full spools before they even start a print. So your mileage may vary on that, just depending on how you operate. I found the touchscreen to be super easy to operate, navigate. It also integrates with Orca. They have a profile with Orca. The machine obviously ships with their version of Orca, but I just took the FlashForge profile, put it into my version, and then set the parameters, and I was off to the races. Sending jobs remotely, not a big deal. You can do it by USB. I almost prefer that method at this point anyway. But overall, the machine works. I'm struggling to really come up with something bad to say about it or critical. That filament loading was a little wonky. I've run PETG through this machine when I was doing parts for the Giant Dummy 13. Mostly PLA, just recently doing silk. Printed a little board here to go over top of my broken turntable for product photos. Just threw it on the FlashForge because it's right here at my desk, and versus having to go and load something else up, it's right there ready to go. That for me, again, as a casual sort of, I'll say a casual noob kind of guy, but I mean, if you're a fan of the channel, you kind of know what my deal is. And so would I buy this 85M Pro from FlashForge? Probably. I mean, if I was looking to size up my farm, build out a farm, and chiefly the product I made fit onto this build plate, and it was one of the material, I mean, really any of the materials that this machine can do, then yeah, it's certainly a contender. It seems primed up for that, for farm environments, for multi-unit environments. Maybe not so much for things that are one-off prints or just hobby prints or something like that. You can definitely tell based on the build quality, seems to me that that's what it's made for. So if you're looking for something like that, maybe this machine's right for you. Or if you eat a lot of Nutri-Grain bars and you really need a 3D printer under your desk. So that's my experience thus far with this machine. I'm gonna certainly be continuing to feature it in my daily vlogs as I use it for the various products that I sort of pull off and try to ultimately sell on the internet, or the things I print for around the house. So stay tuned for that. Be sure to like the video because it's a nice thing to do, and subscribe for more content like this. I'm the Technicals. See you next time.